Yo, what is going on, guys? Back here with another video, and we're going to be doing a reaction to DC Network. So, I kind of had some stuff coming up, and tomorrow I have an appointment, so I thought, hey, might as well bring another video because I've been doing two a day. So, I apologize. We'll have something else that will be non-reaction. Anyway, DC Network, big fan, my inspiration. And the video that I'm reacting to is called More Cartoon Network Classic Merchandise Coming This Year. 14 hours ago, this was posted. And
Hey guys,
yeah,
DC Network here, coming at you with another video. I feel like this is the sixth or fifth video I've made discussing a new wave of Cartoon Network Funko Pops. We've recently talked about how Space goes Coast to Coast and Chowder got their own Funko Pops along with a new Mad Jack Funko.
you know what? So I want to complain about these U2s. As good as they look, like, these are fantastic. Like, you do like a 360 of these, and they look amazing. But at $30 each, I feel like that's way too expensive. I don't want to spend that. I don't know. That could just be me. These may or may not go up in the future, but it just doesn't have me wanting to spend now. That's my complaint. The price point, it's not for everyone.
From Samurai Jack, as well as some other merchandise coming out for Cartoon Network shows. I'll leave a card above to that video if you haven't seen it yet. But in that video, I was saying how I hope they continue this trend of making more merchandise for some of these classic Cartoon Network series, because over the span of time, Cartoon Network has been pretty notoriously bad at releasing merchandise for their shows. I remember as a kid how exciting it was to get that Happy Meal series for Cartoon Network shows because we just straight up didn't get merchandise.
No, you did not get merchandise. If you're gonna get anything Cartoon Network related, as close as you can get was maybe Scooby Doo as well as Looney Tunes. Now, there was every once in a blue moon, you'd go to a store and you would discover some type of random Cartoon Network figure or something of that order, even like Valentine's Day or something like that. It's just, yeah, it wasn't marketed. No commercials really for a lot of their stuff.
For these series. Let me know down in the comment section below if you remember what I'm talking about. They had two waves. They had one for Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends exclusively, and then they had a separate one with a variety of Cartoon Network shows. Like, I remember there was a Camp Lazlo little, like, pen puppet or pencil puppet. It was a little.
You know what? I do want to say I remember the Foster Home for Imaginary Friends line, which was really cool, by the way. I think I have the blue somewhere back there, but if I remember correctly, it vibrates or one of them vibrates, and it came with a little pencil along with it.
Camp Lazlo plushie you put on top of your pencil. I probably still have it somewhere in my house, but those were always cool back in the day. But
I never had the Camp Lazlo ones. I do remember watching Camp Lazlo, and it was quite interesting. Now, yeah, that's one of the ones that I thought was actually a little underappreciated. Same thing with my gym partner as a monkey. That one felt like it was underrated.
nevertheless, we're getting another wave of Cartoon Network series Funko Pops, this time coming from the world of Ed, Edd, and Eddy. And there's a total of 5 Funko Pops that will be releasing.
By the way, Ed, Edd and Eddy is one of my favorite cartoons when it comes to Cartoon Network.
First up, we have Ed, who, as you can see here, is kind of just a regular version of Ed. He's
You know what? This doesn't look bad. You know, the only thing I can say that might need to be looked at if they ever do another iteration or like a pack, the unibrow. I don't know. This is probably as perfect as you can get it because they're doing a vinyl. The hair, I would have to look at Ed to get a rough idea on what he would look like. But if I saw him as a Funko, I feel like this is what we would get. So I'm not really surprised. Big thing is his clothes. They look tremendous. They do look tremendous. He looks like he dressed himself, which is just kind of the crazy combination of some like rain boots. Seems like some either pants or shorts. I have to go back to the show and actually check that out. I've never paid attention to that. got his striped shirt as well as his jacket, which is striped. So, yeah.
Just standing still there. It looks great. We have Double D, who, again, just a regular Double D, standing there with.
I like the Double D. Now, this one, I feel like may not have 100% perfection, but the magnifying glass, good touch. Outfit looks good. The smile, great. And I think this is as good as they can probably get him. Maybe a few more details. Also, did you guys ever notice that Double D is braided up, bro? Look, he's literally got the he's got the dreads going.
With his, magnifying glass in hand, you have Eddie, who you can see is kind of doing that pose, I think, from the intro of the show where he's kind of just like sliding with his hands out there.
So for this Eddie, I don't like this pose. It's a fun one. It is a really fun pose, but if you look at his face, it just doesn't look right. I just feel like his face doesn't look that great as a block shape. And I know he's like a big head character, but I don't know if this is a good fit. His ears, it has those like little X's or like plus signs, which represent pretty well. I don't know. The outfits have been pretty great on these. It's just the faces. I don't know if they're per se like exactly like they do well. I feel like this would be good as a pack so far.
And there are two others on top of which, and these two are rather interesting for a variety of reasons. One of which is we have a Chase variant of.
Oh, dude, this looks sick. So this is like Enraged Ed slash the loopy one that's just going crazy. I love the swirl in his eye. Now, the other part is this. This looks great. The mouth does. A little too much here, but it's trying to show that he's tensed up a bit here. Nothing else different about it besides the eyes and the expression on his mouth and face.
Of Ed, where he's kind of in his crazy mode that we see him get in some episodes where his eyes start spinning red and his teeth start jutting out of his mouth. To me, it's a rather interesting figure to be doing here. I'm not in love with it per se, but it's an interesting figure that they're adding to this lineup. And the last figure is, quite frankly, the most confusing one to me, and that is that we're getting a Funko Pop of Sarah. Yes.
I can't be mad at this one. Now, there is something I want to see here. I want to see how these earrings look. You don't really get a good shot. So, they look kind of funky, I'm not gonna lie. But, I feel like Sarah's not the worst character to use here. She's sort of like a character that's a sidekick to Ed. And she's definitely one of the bullies to the other characters, so if they didn't go with her, I think they would have went with Kevin. And if this succeeds, like pretty successful, they can do Jimmy as well. So it's probably a good thing, man.
Ed's little sister is getting a Funko Pop in this Ed and Eddie series, and this one's just rather confusing to me for a variety of reasons. It just seems like a random inclusion to be having in this wave of Ed and Eddie Funko Pops. Like, I could think of a couple of different characters that would have been better suited for this fifth slot. Like, how cool would it have been to have a Plank Funko Pop?
Yo, DC Network, a Plank Funko Pop? I don't know. I mean, like, as much as that would be cool, I feel like people would be like, dang, I just bought a plastic piece of wood with a face drawn on it. Yeah, I don't know about that. They'd have to do an inclusion.
It's just a giant plank that comes out in this wave of Ed and Eddie Funkos. I would have been all over that. Also, they could have done.
You gotta bring in Johnny, man. You gotta bring Johnny and Plank together. Maybe do some Melon Man. I forgot his superhero name. It's like Melon Man or something like that. That would go crazy.
Other characters from the show, like Ralph or Kevin or Naz, or it would have made more sense maybe if this was a 2-pack where you get Jip.
No, Naz, no. Maybe a Rolf and like an Angry Rolf chase. That'd be good. Kevin without his bike, Kevin with his bike. That's all they could do there.
Me and Sarah together, because Sarah on her own doesn't make a whole lot of sense here to me. Overall, I do like this wave of Funko Pops. I will be picking up the 3 standard Eds. I'm not a huge fan of the Chase variant.
I mean, Sarah's as close as we get to an adult besides Eddie's brother later on.
Ed, nor am I a fan of the Sarah as we just went through. But overall, I'm just happy to see they're continuing the trend of adding more merchandise for these classic Cartoon Network series. I do hope we get more.
The screenshot is crazy.
Notice
bro.
what they've done from time to time, or what they have been doing, I should say, is for some reason they never really add on to former series of Funko Pops. And what I mean by this is, excluding Samurai Jack and Adventure Time, every other Cartoon Network series that has gotten a line of Funko Pops has never gotten more
Those must be the good sellers, man. It's all about selling.
added to that line outside of the initial wave. So what I mean by this is, for example, with Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends,
I've never really I've seen some of these. I haven't seen all these. I probably would have been able to since release. So, the Hot Topic exclusive, I don't know if this is the Chase or whatever, the flocked version. I am looking at this and I'm like, really, what's the difference? I guess that's to do with this purple paint, kind of looks like fur. Now, Mac looks good, Blue looks good. They look fantastic. Even Eduardo, he looks just great. These are pretty amazing looking. So I am kind of surprised they didn't go further down the line. It fits really great. And honestly, Hot Topic makes sense for who would want to take it on for exclusivity. I don't know if the flocked was exclusive or what, but still really cool line.
they had a wave of Funko Pops, right? It came out with Blue, Mac, and Eduardo, and there was also a Chase variant of Eduardo that was flocked, where the figure had kind of like this velvet, finish to it to emulate the fur that is on Eduardo's skin. So those came out, and I remember at the time when I picked all those up, I didn't get the flocked one of Eduardo, but I have, Blue, Mac, and the regular Eduardo, and I remember saying, wow, this is so cool. I can't wait until they release a second wave of this, where we get...
I mean, it would have been cool. Dude, there's so many possibilities. That is true. There's too many possibilities. I think that's something that they would have to think too hard about.
Wilt, Coco, maybe Mr. Harriman, maybe...
I mean, Will would look great. Coco would be very interesting. Maybe do one with a giant egg being laid. Some bomb action. That'd be cool.
Adam Foster, maybe Frankie, maybe we get Cheese. The list could go on and on with all the different friends that are found in the Foster's home, but yet we never got a second wave, and that's all we have to date. Same thing goes for some other series as well, like we had years ago.
I wonder if it's due to licensing. What if they don't have the entire roster licensed out? What if they said, "Hey, we're only gonna do these certain characters," or if they have to bring it to them and say, "Hey, look what we got here." And the Cartoon Network's like, "No, can you do these characters?" I'm guessing that's what it could be. Since Cartoon Network doesn't like the merchandise, that would make a lot more sense, honestly.
Wave of regular show Funko Pops, and that line's never been revisited.
Now let's talk about this one, man. Okay, first things first, let's look at Benson. You have these gumballs, and I guess these are some type of hollowed out ball bits made out of plastic or something. But this one is really cool. I've never seen any of these. It seems that they are kind of obscure, just like a lot of the toys. But dude, if it looked just like the box, this honestly would be one of the most awesome Funkos out there. I don't know, something about it being transparent and being like a gumball machine. It's cool. Mordecai looks good here. He actually looks like his box. But looking at this Rigby, it's sort of cursed. I mean, man, it looks like an actual animal rather than Rigby from the show. Muscle Man looks like Muscle Man actually. And then Skips, dude, why is he so yellow? You ever seen a Super Nintendo that's been left in the sun too long and it gets yellowing? It looks like this one is very yellowed. Because the box should be what you're getting here, not this yellow Skips or whatever it is. I don't know. May not even be Skips.
Those Funko Pops are extremely expensive. I don't own any of them because that was
Now that would explain why I haven't seen these. Yeah, very obscure it seems.
way, way, way before I was even into the Cartoon Network Funko Pop line. So it would be nice to see some modern, updated versions of those characters for people who weren't there for Wave 1. They do this with all different shows, and I just kind of wonder how they pick and choose which shows actually.
I mean, it'd be great, but you look at it, and it looks like they literally took like real life animal versions of the characters and converted it, kind of made them cartoony with the eyes.
We get Funko Pops because Ed and Eddie is a great choice, right? But another series that would also be a great choice is maybe a 5-pack from Codename Kids Next Door. Maybe you get number.
Okay, this would be fantastic. Of course, we need a Rainbow Monkey one. That's all I gotta say. Because it would just be cool. I think that would be awesome, honestly.
1 through number 5 in a 5-pack. Or another choice that would be great is like a 3-pack from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. You get Billy, Mandy, and Grim. That would be so cool to see as well, but yet for some.
Okay, this one, I think it'd be too good to be true, dude. But if they're doing Ed, Edd and Eddy, I would suspect that this could be up next. If this does come to fruition, I hope Hot Topic gets it. Or even Spencer's. I think it's very befitting. You got the Grim Reaper, sort of darker, but yet again, it's one of the Cartoon Network shows. It's just that perfect show that I'm surprised, just because it would fit well with a lot of people, especially with a Mandy, different versions of Mandy, Grum. You got Billy, Billy's dad, and mom. A lot of them to go hard. Even Irwin, and then you have all the other characters like Dracula and so on. Like, just a great roster there.
Reason, whenever they release Funko Pops, they choose one select show to then never revisit it again, which again is rather unfortunate because I would like to see them bolster their lineup of merchandise even further. It's good to see that we're getting these Ed and Eddy Funko Pops, and by the way, I forgot to mention these are coming out on May 27th of this year, being 2020.
So May 27th, if you're trying to get these.
5 if you're looking to get your hands on these, but it'd be great to see a larger wave of Cartoon Network Funkos. I didn't mention this in a prior video actually, but they did have, Funko has this thing, if you don't know, they have something called Funko Pop Digital, which essentially is like selling NFTs, but
dude, I don't know. Get this out. No, I get it. He's trying to explain it. He's not trying to sell us on it. So I'm gonna hear him out on this.
For Funko trading cards, and they actually did have a Cartoon Network wave early.
Too good to be true. Now, if they did these like physical cards, I don't know. I might have to get a pack or two, just because these are really dope. I remember seeing something like this, but NFT stuff, I don't fall for it. It's just a way to lose money. They make you think, oh, you could sell this, trade this, and profit. You're never gonna profit. You're most of the time gonna lose.
Or last year. I've never been into these because quite frankly I'm not into buying NFTs. I just don't really see the appeal to them. But for the Funko version of NFTs, Funko Pop Digital, when you get these cards, you actually have the opportunity to pull a special variant which allows you to then buy a physical figure of the card you've got.
There's no way. So I didn't know about that part. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That Eustace looks really great. I wish I had this one, honestly. You have the Moltar. Dude, all of these are fantastic. I mean, this pretty Funko. Oh, wait, is it Ed, Edd and Eddy? That's too good. You got some Samurai Jack ones. They've went really hard on Samurai Jack, it seems. It sells really well. Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. It just, yeah, it fits perfectly with both.
And then you get exclusive characters that way. Like, for example, the one I had my eye on was they had Eustace with the mask on from the intro of Courage the Cowardly Dog, that green boogeyman-like mask. So they've done that before, right? So hopefully they continue to bolster their lineup.
I mean, hey, I want to be mad about Gumball. Gumball does make sense, too.
Obviously, we have these new Funkos coming out. We just had the Funko's release of Chowder. We had Space Ghost Coast to Coast. We had Mad Jack. We have the Used To's figures coming out. So overall, it's a good indication that Cartoon Network is actually trying to put more merch out there for their classic series. And hopefully it's some...
Is it Cartoon Network or Warner Brothers? Warner Brothers are definitely merchandisers. They know how to sell that is something that is shown throughout history. They can sell. Maybe not on Disney levels, but they can definitely sell.
Something that they don't stop here. Hopefully it's something they continue to build upon, just like they've been doing with their home media releases. We've been getting...
And don't forget, you also have the comic books. Comic books are fantastic, and I am glad that a lot of these Cartoon Network properties, as well as Hanna-Barbera has been lent out, and I'm just happy that a lot of this stuff is getting put out. As a kid, I've never had this, or I didn't collect comics back then, but I'm talking about all this other stuff, the merchandise, all of it. It's great to see.
Getting more and more complete series box sets ever since the 30th anniversary. Granted, it's kind of at a slow as molasses pace. I would like to see them go a bit faster than what they've been doing. Like, where's the Ben 10 complete series box set for the original series, Alien Force, Ultimate Alien, and
Okay, so there is one thing I want to say about DC Network. He is a big Ben 10 supporter. Day one supporter. I'm pretty positive. I respect it. I absolutely do respect it. But this is a little, it's not an argument, it's a point of view I want you to look at. Ben 10 is probably one of their top merchandised shows, if they've ever merchandised anything. It was selling like hotcakes, bro. Like, if I think about Cartoon Network, not about the Hanna-Barbera and stuff like that, like, I don't really include Scooby-Doo, even though I think they were collecting revenue from it. Same thing with Looney Tunes. Now you can think of Looney Tunes as a part of it because Warner Brothers has that. But yeah, Ben 10, I feel like we should show some other series some love, give them some merchandise. Like Ed, Edd n Eddy, Dexter, all of that, I think deserves it. Powerpuff Girls, even though I feel like Powerpuff Girls did get a pretty good share, including like a card game and a bunch of other off-the-wall stuff. So overall, in respect, Ben 10, yeah, they can get to that when they get to that. I would like for them to be 100% whenever they bring more Ben 10 stuff, not halfway do it.
Omniverse. I know you can buy all of the original series, Alien Force and Ultimate Alien, on DVD, but there's no way to get all of Omniverse, so it'd be nice maybe to do one giant box set for me.
Now that you say that, I believe I was looking on Twitter and someone had a collector's box. I don't know if this is an oop or what, but it had the entire original series. I believe he's talking about the original series. I could be wrong. Could be the sequel series.
Maybe $200-300 where you have the entirety of the Ben Prime timeline in one DVD box set.
Oh, he meant like the entire. Okay, so he meant like the entire series, including the sequel series. You know what would be really nice is if they did a Blu-ray, and they can ask quite a bit more because of that. But in the inclusion, if you know the Futurama complete series, that one actually comes with the movies as well. So imagine this, a Ben 10 box set, Blu-ray, to be like a steelbook or whatever, and it includes the entirety of both series as well as all the movies. That would be fantastic. You can go even further and do the new series as well. I think it would look great. And yeah, we need more physical releases, but it seems slowly as time goes on that these releases they're kind of becoming complicated. Now, I was confused about the whole Sony closure thing. They are still doing physical media, just not CDs, DVDs, whatever they call it. They're not making the blanks. They're still continuing producing this stuff. So you never know what we're gonna get. Sorry, I'm rambling because it's late at night. Go on.
So that would be so sick to get, but yet we're sitting here waiting for stuff like that to happen, and we're seeing a slow as molasses pace with these merchandise, these Funko Pops as well. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. What do you guys think about these new Funko Pops that are coming for Ed, Edd n Eddy? Are you going to pick any of them up? And do you agree with me that Sarah being the 5th figure is just a very odd choice that kind of came out of left field? Like, I would understand if they just...
It's not really left field. Left field is if they took some random character like Eddie's brother and brought it in. Like, who asked for Eddie's brother? I feel like it's a good choice. It's actually a main cast character. And if you think about it, I think I said it earlier, Sarah revolves around the main cast a lot more than a lot of the other characters, just because it is Ed's sister. I was gonna say bro. I don't know why I was gonna say brother. My mistake.
Stopped at the 3 Eds and didn't even do a chase variant, but for some reason they added 2 more on, and they were rather interesting choices to say the least. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching,
Dude, check it out. Check out DC.work.
and I'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, great channel. Another show. You got to check this out. He's talking about some Bakugan. Bakugan was merchandise fairly well, it seemed. That one, I liked it as a kid. It was actually hitting the playground just like the Pokemon. It was a craze. Anyway, guys, hope you stay safe. Enjoyed my yapping, and peace out till next time.